You are locked in with Weekly Recap, sponsored by Isupportmedia.
All right, welcome back. It is Weekly Recap number 2. And I am with Bruce Davis and Sharita. I love saying Bruce Davis because we have the same last name, y'all. But don't mind me. They are both very front line with everything that's going on here in Oklahoma City with the protest and just staying informed with everything going on with the case. So we're going to go ahead and get right into what's going on with the George Floyd case right now and give you guys a little update. So I know you guys both heard about how all 4 cops have been charged so far. And they have also changed it from 3rd-degree murder to 2nd-degree murder. So me personally, I don't know exactly what that means, but it could work in our favor and it could not. Do neither one of you guys have anything to touch bases on that?
So with he was charged with 3rd-degree murder, and they moved to the 2nd degree. Like I was saying, 3rd-degree murder is more of a situation where it's an accidental death. More of if you have a car accident, you hit someone, you have a wreck, they die, you could be charged with 3rd-degree murder on that point. 2nd-degree murder is more in the middle of 3rd degree and 1st degree, meaning 1st degree is fully intent to kill someone, premeditation, things like that. So it's kind of in the middle. The sentence of that is, I believe, 25 years maximum sentence with 2nd degree. Or he could get a year in jail or probation. So it kind of ranges from a long stem of things that could possibly happen. So I don't know. It's going to be a little bit harder to try to prove 2nd-degree murder with him, as opposed to 3rd degree probably would have been the best way to go. So we kind of have to just kind of see how it plays out to see what happens.
Right. I mean, I really hope they choose to make an example out of these officers, because it would definitely make them think twice when they go out and work every day, and think before they just pull out a gun and shoot somebody or do what they did to George Floyd. So that's really good, and I'm really glad that the world is kind of like stepping out and speaking up about other cases as well. As you guys know, a lot of other cases like Kendrick, the young man who was wrapped in the mattress. I forgot exactly what state, but I'll definitely have a pop-up in here. But the young man who was wrapped in a mattress and a mattress pad inside the school, and they still have never convicted anybody on that case. But a lot of people are like petitioning for a lot of other cases to be reopened and relooked at, because if you guys can change that from 3rd degree to 2nd degree, how come we can't go out and really find out who killed these people that you guys failed to even try to investigate? It really doesn't make any sense. So I'm really excited that is actually going on. And did you guys see George Floyd's daughter?
Yeah, I got to get a quick glimpse of it while I was at work, but I just thought it was so profound when tragedy hits your front door like that, to even be able to speak on it.
Yeah.
Just seeing that glow that she had through the midst of this storm, it's like you just want to reach out and hug her, like, we're standing with you. Like, we know that this wasn't our father, but this is our brother. We have blood ties that might not be DNA, but this is our brother as well. And it just took courage to get out there and do what she's doing. The whole family, definitely my condolences and prayers, because I've had tragedy strike my family, and it wasn't because of police brutality, but I think we all know how it feels to lose someone, but to lose someone to this magnitude where it's publicized and everyone has an opinion, it just takes bravery to get out there and do that, man. It takes bravery.
It does.
And it was so beautiful to see. Like, she was on I believe her uncle's neck or something, and she was like, my daddy changed the world, like, you know. And I listened to the mother at one of the press conferences. She said that she don't know exactly how her father died. She know that he couldn't breathe, but she didn't know that the police officer is the reason why he couldn't breathe. So her saying like my dad changed the world, for her is like, I don't know what happened to my dad, but you can see through her how he was a good father. Like, you know, just her shine, and how she, like you said, she was glowing in those videos. She didn't really seem sad and upset because she was like proud of her dad. So that was really, really good to see. And I mean, it's been a lot of parents coming out and putting out there like their situations with having to talk to their kid about what do you tell your child in that situation, them being young black men, young black women. Do you tell them to fight back, or do you tell them to just to surrender? Like, what would you guys really tell your child or your siblings or your cousins?
Well, it's definitely a fine line between teaching our children how to interact with law enforcement. I have two young black men myself. I have twin boys that'll be 9. And I tell people all the time, the birds and the bees was a more comfortable conversation versus having to tell them how to interact with the police. Because, we teach our kids, you want to respect authority. You definitely want to comply. But the sad thing about it is when you're a black man or a black woman or a black child, you can comply and still die.
Right.
So how do we make our kids more aware of you can do all the right things? We've seen it happen time and time again where somebody's complying, hands up, don't shoot, and they still don't make it home. So we still have to make them aware of the fact that you can comply and definitely you should, but it doesn't always mean that the outcome is going to be what you think it's going to be. So it's like anything, you still have to teach them survival, at the same thing teaching them respect for the authority. Because we know all cops aren't bad cops. But if you sit by and you watch someone murder someone, then you're just as bad as the person that's doing the murdering.
Yep.
You have to let your voice be heard. You have to stand up. Just like I was speaking with Bruce about, I love Brucey. That's like family right there. It's crazy that this officer had 18 counts of misconduct. Why was he even still employed? Like, it's like if I'm at McDonald's and I'm throwing food on the floor and giving it to you. I don't think my job is going to last this long, and I'm going to continue to drop it on the floor 18 more times and serve it. Like, you hate to compare it to something like that, but it's like, at what point do they say, okay, this is enough? Yeah. No, you're not going to get a desk job. No, you're not going to go on any paid leave. This is enough. I need to terminate your job before you do something that's unthinkable.
Yeah,
like, It shouldn't take you to kill someone before somebody says, hey, this is enough. This is not the job for you. You're not trying to protect and serve. You have a different agenda. And yours is just might be hidden right now, but I feel like his agenda wasn't even hidden. Like, he was showing them in plain sight who he was, and it should have never went this far where he took someone's life.
Yeah.
Right. And the thing is, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Oh, but the thing is, he got these cops get comfortable. These cops get comfortable in doing what they're doing. They forget about body cams. They forget about the public is watching them. So, which tells me they've been doing it for years and a long time.
Right.
It's definitely unaccountable for, and it's definitely something that shines down on all cops, good or bad. I mean, everybody looks at all the cops bad right now in this instant, which all cops are not bad, like you said, Shamir. But at the same time, you know who's a bad cop and who's the bad cop and who's a good cop when you are a cop. You know from where you work at, you know everybody who's shady or everybody who's doing something they're not supposed to be doing. Everybody knows everybody they work with. So I can't really justify that all good cops don't know about what's going on in their things, in their precincts. Everybody knows, and it's their job to call it out. So that's what they should have been doing a long time ago. And once we start putting charges on these cops like they're doing now and start firing them immediately, things will start to change, I believe. But until then, nothing's going to change in my eyes because the cops are still going to protect each other and be with each other and always stand up for one another, regardless of what another one of their fellow brothers do. So.
Right. I totally agree. I'm the type of person I feel like if the job that I have does not match my morals and my values, I'm not going to work there. And I really haven't seen a lot of reports of any officers resigning. And if they have, please correct me if I'm wrong. Where are you at? Resign. You don't need that. There's plenty of other jobs we can get out here in the world. But if you really want to make a change, you have to be the one to make the change. So I definitely agree to that. Moving on to other things, I know both of you guys were at the Oklahoma City protest. I personally wasn't there, so I would love to hear both of you guys' experience on, like, when did it start? What was your experience? What did you see? Like, did it turn into anything violent? Was there any looting? Was there a lot of African Americans looting? Did you see officers looting? Because they say that there's really the police officers out there looting and breaking into these buildings. So how was it for you guys being out there in the front line with your own eyes?
Well, I can definitely speak on daytime protests because those were the protests that I actually participated in with the daytime. The last one I did, and I'm so proud of Oklahoma because ever since last Friday, I've literally seen a protest every single day. If it wasn't in Oklahoma City, it's in Moore, it's in Norman, it's in Spencer, it's on corners. It doesn't even have to have that magnitude of 1,000 some people. I've seen people gathered on corners, 5 or 6 people holding signs. And I mean, it warms your heart because we know that this happens in Oklahoma too. So I went to the Black Lives Matter protest last Saturday. It started on 36 and Kelly, and we marched all the way to the Capitol. My knees, they held up. They held up, and I was proud. I mean, I'm not new to this. My first actual march and rally I participated in for Black Lives Matter was for Trayvon Martin. And I remember taking my daughter there at this time. She's about to be 14 this year. And I remember packing my daughter, marching. And she's like, how many times do you have to march? I mean, because we did it again for Sandra Bland. We did it so many times that at this point, I look at her and I'm like, I hope we don't have to do this again. I hope we never have to march because another one of us is slain. But the camaraderie and the allies that I seen out there, I know it had to be at least 1,000 people holding signs, marching. Every leg of the way, we had people giving out water, giving out snacks, making sure that people were okay and hydrated. I know it's COVID-19 and we were trying to social distance as much as possible, but the love just would not allow people to social distance correctly. But a lot of people did have masks on and were being real responsible. I've only seen love. I literally only encountered one person out of those 1,000+ people that were probably there that had negativity on their heart. And I did stop marching just so I can approach the car and speak to that gentleman. But sometimes we have to realize your emotions is your emotions and they're not mine. So I can't get mad at you of how you express it. But you have to know that I come in love and I'm coming from a point of healing. So no, I don't want you to hurt nobody. No, I don't want you to get so worked up that you hurt yourself. I want you to stop your car and I want you to get out and I want you to march with us. Because we know it's going to take more than marching. We know it's going to take more than protesting. I did not see a lot of law enforcement out. I did see more once we got to the Capitol, but it was totally peaceful, totally peaceful. Mm-hmm. Black Lives Matter did a great job. Their speakers are always so amazing, and I always see these same people on the forefront. So to be able to have a voice that powerful, to bring that many people out, it's like, it's just amazing to me. I didn't participate in any nightlife, but I did see a lot of live footage. There was a lot of like looting, and then I also seen Black people standing outside of Black businesses, making sure that nobody looted the Black business. So I think in all, everything I seen, the good and the bad, it was all justifiable to me, and it all came from a point of love.
Good. That's exciting. Okay, Bruce, tell me about the nightlife then.
The nightlife. Well, I did have a chance to go to the protest on, what was that, Sunday for the one that was on the east side. That was on Sunday. Yeah. So I went to that day one, but I also went to the one Friday and Saturday before that. Friday we were at 23rd and Classen, and we marched around, and that was somewhat peaceful. The cops did come, but they kind of backed away once they seen the amount of people that were there. I would probably say almost about 2,000 people at that one.
Wow.
And we marched from Classen to Penn, and then back around back to 23rd. And like I said, it was pretty peaceful. We did have a couple of cars to try to come through the intersection and try to run a couple people over, trying to hit the big banner that they had, trying to run over that. So they did have a couple of those instances, but other than that, it was fine. Now, the issue happened when we walked to the police station, and they wasn't really prepared for us to walk there. So when we walked there, it was somewhat peaceful, but you did see some of the white people tagging buildings up, breaking windows out. So there wasn't any looting per se, but there was people breaking windows out of businesses on the way to the police station. Once we got there, everybody was in the front line. Everybody was, protesting, telling the cops, how Black Lives Matters and this and that. and it was all good up until the point where they started throwing water bottles at the cops, rocks at the cops. There were several cop cars that was outside of the police station. They started vandalizing those, breaking windows out. There was a sheriff's van that was set on fire. There was a couple of bail bombs in places by the county jail that were windows was busted out. To me, it was real. It was actually like a real sight to see. Yet you've seen people coming together still. You've seen white and black people coming together. You've seen people telling other people who was vandalizing buildings to stop.
Right.
When the cops were throwing tear gas out into the crowds of people, you've seen people come with milk. We had, people would scream medic. And so there's these medics in the crowds that would come help you get your eyes together, put milk in your eyes. If you got shot with rubber bullets, they'll help with the wounds.
That's amazing.
But it was a scary sight just due to the fact that the cops was just walking into the crowd shooting people with rubber bullets and bean bags. That was just throwing cans of tear gas out in the middle of the crowds. And we wasn't even doing anything. They was just throwing it out in the middle of the crowds at us. So that was a real scary sight. I probably got tear gas about 4 times. I didn't get shot with any bullets or anything, but I did get tear gas about 4 times. And the only thing that was amazing that the people who was requesting the cops to do was just kneel. Just come march with us. Just come rally with us. And they refused to do that.
I want them to anyways. Don't kneel. Like, you mocking me now.
True. And that's a whole nother issue. But they wasn't even trying to really understand why we were there. We were asking them why are we here? And they said, we don't know. Well, who was the guy that got killed? They said, we don't know his name. So they really don't even care what is actually going on. That protest lasted till about 3:30 at night in the morning. And they started really dispersing us out by getting closer and closer to the protesters and shooting anything and everybody they can shoot to get people to leave. So it was a little extreme. Saturday night was a little bit more better to say, but yeah, it still was a lot of tear gas, a lot of kids in the crowds, and they're just throwing stuff out, not even caring about anybody. So the way the cops handled that whole situation that night was pretty bad. Like, you can't throw a water bottle at somebody, but throwing a water bottle at somebody doesn't result in rubber bullets getting shot at them.
Right.
You can't kill nobody with a water bottle, but you can kill somebody with a rubber bullet or a bean bag or with tear gas. Because they'll come out and people don't really understand when they throw them and then they explode. Right there. So when they explode, that's when all the tear gas come out. So anybody could have got hurt. And there were some people that were hurt, actually. One thing that the news don't really report is there was a car that ran through the crowd. It dragged a lady. She was dragged probably about half of a block.
Oh, my gosh.
And the car kept going. So you could see all the white and black people chasing the car down the street trying to get the car. Luckily that the police helicopters was in the sky and it was able to catch the guy who done it. But, that's the type of things that the news doesn't show everybody. The news doesn't show people who was all coming together, the white people who was helping out, the white people who were giving out water, medics and things like that. They don't show that. They just try to make it seem like that it's just us that's out there looting, us that's out there breaking buildings up. So.
And I saw a lot of things on social media. There are actually a lot of people who have died throughout the protest. There was a young lady who died because she actually, they threw tear gas. She has asthma and she passed out. And they said it was a video. I haven't found it yet, but I did see little articles of saying rest in peace to the young lady. There has been a lot of people who have died throughout the protest. So everybody who's out there protesting, please just be safe. Just please be safe, okay? Okay, y'all. That was a lot. I mean, I did not know all that stuff was happening in, as far as like with the people getting tear gassed and drug and all that. So our media do need to do a better job at putting the correct information out there, the important information out there. With that being said, the whole world is rioting right now. The whole world is protesting right now. We're still going through COVID-19. It's probably getting worse. What do you guys think that leads us for in 2021? Like, what do you think that is for us in the future?
So 2020, it didn't took us through it. It didn't took us through it. I would have never predicted that this year would start out like this. And we're only in June. Like, we're literally only in June. So as far as COVID-19, we definitely need to keep proactive with that. We definitely need to start continuing social distance. Yeah, the world is opening back up slowly but surely, but still be out there and be safe. Use your better judgment. If you know you feeling sick or having these symptoms, definitely stay home. You know, the word on the curve is you can have symptoms and not even know, but we know our own bodies, and I feel like we know when something's not right. So I just want people to continue to definitely be proactive with that. The only thing I can say is let's make it better. And the only way we can make it better is it starts with all of us.
Yeah.
This fire has been lit again because it never went out. Mm-hmm. People are like, oh, y'all only are marching because Mr. Floyd was killed. No, we're marching for every Black man, every Black woman, every Black child that was killed by police brutality and violence. This is a flame that's already been there. Yep. His death, unfortunately, just poured more gasoline on it. So we got to stay proactive. After protesting, what's our next step? We got to get out there and vote. June 30th, I need every person, especially of color in Oklahoma, to get out there and vote. You should already be researching these sheriffs that's trying to take that new seat. Be proactive, because we can only tell you so much to go vote. I've been voting since I was 18, and I feel proud when I go out and vote because my ancestors literally died. People died so that you could go and register to vote, or you can go to those and make your voice be heard. And it starts with local elections. Yeah. I'm telling you, people hate to vote for local elections, but how can you change anything at home if you don't go out and vote for local elections? So we definitely have to be proactive about that. I'm going to put a campaign together for June 30th to try to get as many people as possible to drive other people to the polls. So if I have to pick people up, wherever your polling station is, I am willing to drive you there. You don't have to vote for who I'm voting for. Your vote is your own vote. But I just want you to go out there and vote.
Right. I love it.
Yeah, I mean, 2021, to me, I can't even imagine what it would look like right now, just because, like Sharita said, it's so much that has happened. This has really, like, been a life-changing experience for a lot of people. Right. I do love the fact that we as Black people have the world awakened now. The world is waking up. The world is seeing our true potential. The world is seeing our true power. Like, we have the entire world fighting for us. We have from London to Africa to hell. They probably in Antarctica protesting that we don't even know about.
Right.
You know? Everybody is here protesting and fighting with us. I posted something on Facebook before how we are the first race, and we were the first race here on Earth. And it just goes to show me that we have a lot of power that we don't even use. It's like we're superheroes, but we don't even know we're superheroes yet, you know? So we have to rise. We have to get up. We have to vote. We have to do that. I think 2021 is going to be a good year just because Donald Trump would not be there anymore.
Right.
I think 2021 is going to bring a lot of change. COVID-19, yes, it's going to continue. I think that's going to continue for the rest, at least for the next couple of years. And it's just no way to kind of manage that. But by being safe and social distancing and things like that, we can get rid of that stigma and COVID-19. But it's just so much right now going on. It's just kind of hard to even think about COVID-19 at the moment. Out of the protests, people are protected, people are wearing masks, people are doing this, but I want people to realize when you are out there, just wear your mask and be sure to have it on at all times. When people are yelling, droplets from your mouth shoots out,
Right.
and that's how you can catch it. So you have to really be mindful of that. But I'm loving all the black love that we are getting right now from the world. I'm loving how they painted Black Lives Matter in DC on the streets.
Yeah, that was
I'm
dope.
loving how they changed the street names to Black Lives Matter Plaza.
Yes.
I remember years ago when people were fighting about these statues, these Confederate statues that was up. Now they're taking them down with no problems, no issues, no nothing. You know, people not even questioning to take it down. They're just doing it just because they knew it was wrong in the first place. So there's a lot of things that's changing. I think it's going to bring us together as a world. And next time, God forbid, if anything like this happens again, they're going to pay hell for it. Hell is going to rain down on the police department, on that officer, and it's going to be very bad for them. So hopefully they'll think twice when they do the things that they do.
I agree. I appreciate both y'all for all the information, because we need more people of color really giving the weekly recaps and giving out the news, because like you said, they're not even giving us out the real news, the real nitty gritty and what's going on definitely right here in our own city and around the world. So I am definitely appreciative of Sharita and Bruce, and you guys will definitely be seeing them again. Make sure you guys follow them. I will have their social media platforms up here so you guys can follow along with their journey with being frontline at these protests out here.
It's your girl Zayfromdabay, here to tell you to follow us on Instagram @_Isupportmedia__.